Hey, what's going on, guys? We're live. We'll be ready and with you in just a minute. It's taking a little bit longer than expected to get all this set up, but I've got it all now dialed in. I just need to turn off a fan, and I should be good to go. Is the sound working all right? It's a new setup for sound too. And if you're joining after the live, then we will post somewhere when the video actually begins for you. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a special edition of RC Conspiracies. It's really just live on the channel. Basically, Tuesday nights we try to go live. Typically, we do a little bit different format, but with the Badlands Axialfest quickly approaching, and we're gonna be leaving town for a little bit ahead of it. I need to get some stuff done, and so I needed tonight. One, I started washing the RV today. And we've got a lot going on with that. So I literally just finished that. I looked up, it was 8:30, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're going live in an hour. I know I've got to start building some stuff because, you know, we leave on Thursday for Michigan, and we're going right from Michigan to Indiana for Axialfest. So it's going to be a whirlwind. So I'm going to be taking whatever I don't finish with me and trying to build it wherever we are. And so, yeah, it's going to be nuts. So yes. Sound is good. Good. We got the little fuzzy guy up here doing our sound. I don't usually use this, but I needed free space, no mic in front of me because we're going to build. Because I've got this guy here that I've had since they came out, but I haven't built it yet. And it's the SCX10 III kit. And we had HVAC issues, and the guy... It was upstairs issues, but for some reason he started working the downstairs well pump. Made it leak for some reason. Got water on the floor. This ended up on the floor. It wasn't on the floor. Anyway, he ruined the box for me. But yeah, so I thought I'd talk through what I'm taking, see what you guys suggest, let you know why I think I'm a winner and going to be a winner. And yeah, we'll see. One thing at a time, Bar Harbor Basher says. That is true. And Arma what? We could start there. So on the Arma page, they posted on Facebook. We can pull some of this stuff up. I keep forgetting. We can do this. But we can pull up the Arma page and what they posted. And people were putting it on the RC Conspiracies page as well. But on Arma, I have to see if this is going to work. I don't know how we're set up currently. So you're going to see behind the scenes here a little bit. Cuz I have to see if it's going to work. Yep, it works. All right, so they have this little image here. It says EXB, and that's really all we know about it is that EXB. What does that mean? And they said July 2nd. So apparently on July 2nd, they're going to be announcing something that has to do with EXB. Some people were trying to guess what the letters stood for, like Extreme Buggy. I don't know, maybe Extreme Basher. Somebody said a boat. All different things. People have been guessing what it could possibly be. And I honestly, I don't know. But I'm guessing it has to do something with the type of, not necessarily a model, because they have the BLX series with the big exaggerated X, but that's like multiple cars fit inside of that. So my question is, what is the EXB? Is that like extreme brushless, or I don't know. That is kind of what I'm thinking, is it's going to be like a line, but I could be completely wrong, and it could be a fifth scale buggy or like an HPI Baja or something like that. I honestly don't know. People were saying they think I know, or I have one already, but that is not true. I do not have one. Chainsaw is asking, where did I get this green chassis? That's here on the bench. And right here. This is a Donald Jenkins custom build chassis. And it's a beautiful thing. His welds are super clean. It's steel. And it's really heavy. It's got Vanquish 4 links on it. It's got a broken servo saver, because all I had was a plastic one at the time of finishing it. I do have new ones to put on there. It's got a Reefs 555 in it, Mamba X, and it's their crawler, so it's like a 3800 crawler motor in it. So that's kind of what I'm running with this. King shocks on it. It does pretty well. It with the metal and the metal chassis and the metal diff housing hit, though, makes a lot of noise. But other than that, that's kind of just takes some getting used to. It's noisy. Mitchell's RC with a super sticker. Thank you, man. You guys are awesome. Lucre is in the house. Got his new hat in the mail, it looked like. That's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, as far as I know, we basically waiting till July 2nd to find out what Axial's got for us, just like you guys. And I don't know, I'm excited about it. It's kind of like one of those things where Jason was saying that they weren't going to have a ton of stuff, but he kind of hinted there was something big coming. Like, I mean, when I think big, I would think that it's going to be another fifth scale, and they're probably going to do basically like what Duper Bash and them are doing for a stunt truck. But we'll have to wait and see that. But maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's some new line they're calling it. I don't know. But he really hinted that it was the other companies that were gonna have a big year. So I'm kind of curious now, since like they're the first ones coming out, other than the Axial Ready to Run, since that month ago live stream. So just kind of trying to see what they've got. BMRC coming to Cole's Friday. Get ready for a whooping. I am not. I'm going to be driving or already in Detroit. Heading up to Detroit area. Not really Detroit. Mike Imasa says, about time. Arma is definitely due for a new toy. I'd agree with that. They did so many big things last year, though, so we'll see. Sean's RC Adventure says, I'll get nothing built at this rate. Right. So my winning is clickbait. There we said it. I'm going to be a winner at Axialfest because I support my local hobby shop. And so I'm taking parts of my local hobby shop with me to Axialfest and supporting them as I do this. So that's how I'm a winner. I even got this Axial SCX10 III clear Jeep body, so I can paint it up like mine. And a bunch of some little stuff in here. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Did get this. The Reefs Raw 500. That's upside down. So I picked that up at Hobbytown, Virginia Beach. This is actually for some other stuff, but it's the Sidewinder for combo with a 5700 kV motor. And this is actually going to go all I wanted was the motor, but you can't really get them anywhere right now. It's hard to get the capsule stuff. So I got the combo because online they're sold out. Just happened that they had it in store, and it's actually returned. Somebody bought it and returned it, which I got lucky. And so this will be going into my Freestyle RC Pro C because it needs a little bit more because I'm trying to run it on 2S. And I think this 5700 kV is going to be on point for that truck. So this has nothing to do with Axialfest. I did get the servo horns for the rock bouncer and another one because of the build I'm doing here. Not sure, you guys can maybe help me out here what you think I should do. This Reef's Raw 500 seems like it's a much faster servo than the 555. So I'm actually thinking about taking the 555 out of here, giving me a fast one in the rock bouncer, and then taking the 555 and putting it in the SCX10 III as I build that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Is that smart? Is that smart? So yeah, this SCX24 is a pre-cut Jeep. It's the JL, I guess. So I'm still going to do it up to make it look kind of like my JK. I have the yellow one, but I don't really prefer that color a whole lot. Corbett Smith says swap them. Everyone else is saying swap them. Frank the Tank is here. Yeah, I feel like this, because I do want to do, I think this counts for the open class for the rock bouncers. I don't know that it's a performer, but it's using axial based stuff. It's running their skid plate. It's an axial based hot racing gear system in here for the Wraith. The axles are based off of the AR60s. So I think everything is literally like swap out, upgrade, OEM type stuff, and should qualify for that because Axialfest, of course, is axial based rules. So this one's a simple fix. We're going to replace the servo horn, but I think, yeah, we're going to actually take it out and replace it with the other one, which this one is cool because it's tunable. You can hook it up to your computer. There's software for it to actually tune it, which I've never heard of for a servo before. So that's kind of cool. I don't know. I mean, hopefully it works with Mac. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. Smart, if 500 will hold up in the bomber and 555 will fit in the SCX10 III. Yeah, that is a question mark. I'm not running servo savers on this. So, I might have to rethink that scenario and put maybe a... I don't want like a Freestyle RC one on here because it doesn't move enough if you're in the rocks. You need it to really be able to move in the rocks, and that's why I don't really want that servo saver, but maybe it's a bad decision. Trying to go through the comments here. Frank says swap them, swap them, swap them. All right. So funny thing, you guys have seen me twice now in live videos. Once here on my channel, and then I think the other one was on the Tank's channel, or Steve O'D's. I don't remember which one, but I've taken this apart twice and swapped out the motor. Once because I had no idea what the different 5-slot, 3-slot, all that meant until GCM, Chris from GCM was on the Tank RC and was talking about it. And basically I had swapped out the 35 turn in here for what was the equivalent of another 35 turn, which was the 16 turn 3-slot, I believe, crawler from Reedy. So now I put in a 15 turn 5-slot, faster, yes. But if I want to do the the factory class with this, which I should do because I'm not upgraded like everybody else is going to be, I can't run anything below a 20 turn. So I got to open it up again and swap. I'm going to know how to drop that transmission out of here so well. I mean, I got to change it again. So I need to get a 20 turn motor. So my cheap, keep it cheap bomber now is going to be like $70 just in brushed motors that I've failed on picking. But after this, I'll put the 15 turn back in. It's just one of those things where I'm like, you got to be kidding. The bomber is the AKA servo killer. Okay. Yeah, maybe I do need to put something on here. RC Guy Garage has more power. So, yeah, they limit it with this unless I'm going to really try and beef this whole thing up and go into like the open class, which, nah. This one will open class. This one's running the brushless system. It fits in that class. So, ugh. Yeah. I think mine's a programmable version. How do I know if I have the programmable one? Oh, it does say download Reef software. Reef link required for programming. Voltage 4.8 to 8.4. The other thing about these is I do have the Mamba X in here so I can program the voltage on this. So what I've been doing for this one, both of these are kind of annoying as far as batteries go, and you guys know it if you have them. Trying to find out a way to do batteries in them is kind of interesting. So what I did here is I just basically did a strap. Ouch, that is sharp plastic. And I just put it around the metal piece here, and I'm basically putting the battery in, and I'm just going to strap it up to this post and hold it in that way. That's my plan right now. I don't have a system in here, so it's worked well so far. We'll see how it does in action there. I hope to get it out for some more testing up in Michigan. But yeah, I'm just kind of wrapping it like this and holding the battery in. Just a little small 1500, 1600 milliamp hour 3S Venom. I still need to figure out why I don't have a whole lot of, I guess that's decent flex. That's not too bad, I guess. Close to a rattle can. Super close. Not terrible. And they do cock up just the littlest bit, except when it squats. Then the axles are. I know you guys were asking how the drive shafts are. They don't really go up that much. They are kind of maybe the slightest degree up, but they're pretty level. So I just don't have a whole lot of travel. But it really soaked everything up pretty well, I thought, when I was out running it. It's a beauty, though. Stickered it all up. These are the Support Your Local Horizon Hobby stickers. I had some of those that fit in there. The hard part was finding stuff that would fit in there. Hit up that Traxxas sticker sheet. Those things are a gold mine, I'll tell you what. Great for lots of stickers. So this one is going to come back apart. And, yeah. These ones actually, yeah. The front one kicks up a little. The back one is pretty straight. But that'll be later project. All right. Enough talking. I did get this because I needed a battery that would fit in there. And so I got a little smart battery. It was over in the Fly stuff, but they don't really do theirs like Fly or whatever for planes. But at Hobbytown it was with the plane batteries. Little 30C 2200 fits in there perfectly. So once I try it out, I might get another one to make sure that I have enough to get through the day, because that'll go pretty quick. But has the right plug on it, made it easy. 26 bucks. Hey, 11 Charlie, how's it going? Welcome. What's going on in the chat? 4.5 turn in that drag car. I still haven't gotten to take mine out since I redid the diff and everything and put the new gearing in it. Corbett Smith, this is so true. He says sometimes, well, a lot of times the spec classes are just as much, if not more fun than the Unlimited, in my opinion. But I love them all. Sometimes they're even more competitive because of what people are doing to really get their cars dialed in at that spec level. So, yeah, basically, I thought I'd just chit chat with you guys. So, have you guys looked at, is anybody in the chat going to Axialfest? The Badlands one? I'll tell you a little bit of my story as I kind of work on this. It's been quite a trip trying to get everything ready. Can I get an action figure for the rock bouncer? I sure can. I have two, and my kids have taken them. I don't know where they are. I have to go digging for them. So this, the nice thing about this is I was afraid to start building it, except that the bags are for the directions are by bag, and so I can keep a lot of it in bags in case I don't get to it until Michigan, which is really nice. I like how they've chosen to do this. I say that not having actually done it yet, but the videos I've seen on it, I'm pretty excited about that aspect for sure, with the way that they bag the parts. Shark says, I'll be going if my steering link shows up for my Savvy. What steering link are you waiting for your Savvy? I've got an extra hot racing one like on mine, an orange one. If you're in need, I can bring it with me. Trash Can Ninja says 4000 kV and an SMT10 is nice. Yes. The right one, should I use 15T or 17? Depends if you want it to go faster. How am I going to paint it on time? That is the question. Like, the body parts of this are what scare the daylights out of me. I'm going to keep it simple. So it's going to be white with the black top, just like mine is. So I've got black here. I might do the Tamiya dulling spray on it too, on the plastic part, which would be like the plastic roof. So we'll see. So I've got the directions out and I'm gonna hit it. Next year the kids and my girlfriend are going. We'll have to build 3 axials first. Yeah, so what I have, and the one that I didn't show, well, I have a couple I didn't show. I have the one up here that I plan to take, which is my original one. It's the SCX10 III. That's my Jeep JK, which kind of looks like mine if I took the top off. And then, well, I don't have the light bars and stuff, the cool stuff. Then I'm going to take the Capra, and my boys are going to bring their Wraith 1.9s. Front ring gear locker assembly. This looks easy enough. Thread lock. Okay. Let's get into it, guys. Oh man, the frame feels beefy. Do you have to use axials at Axialfest, or you can use any truck you want? It's axial only. Which I was actually looking to try to score. This is the bag I need. And I still am talking with the guy about his trail finder. He's got an older one that is set up, a TF2. And that thing got like the shooter shackles, everything. It's so well built. And so I'm interested in that. All right. That camera is blowing out. Guess I won't be going, Scottzilla says. Yeah, it's a little far for you anyway. That one's not too bad. Got the Spectrum Green Rugged last week. I blame Tony. Isn't it awesome, man? I got mine right here. Mine's actually kind of decked out now. In fact, it's got the 11 Charlie sticker on it right here. So there you go. That's getting bound to this. That's getting bound to everything these days. I'm loving it. All right, so we need bag A1. Doing the front diff locker, ring gear assembly. Portal. This will be like first time building portals. This will be interesting. What were some of the things that I was supposed to not do or be aware of? I remember there was a couple things. Alright, so we need bag A1 plus their thread lock here. Got some grease, it looks like, in here as well. Do you guys use their thread locker, or do you happen to use your own? I've got some decent thread locker I like. And when I do paint that, I'm going to be painting this one at the same time when I paint the body for it. Because I'm going to do basically the same paint job. Match them up. How's it going, SFL RC24? I'm sorry, what's bulletproof now? So what do you think of the controller 11 Charlie with the back on it here? Be sure you pay attention to the spot for the pins on every gear. One side is square and a rounded side for the pin. Even the ones in the Tran. So spot for the pins. Okay. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but maybe it will in a minute. So apparently you have to use multiple bags to complete this because A4 is screws, and it looks like we're going to need these to do A1. Should probably get my caliper out. Are these in the manual to scale the screws? Cower C-Mat. Love these things. If I put the screws on here, are they to scale? It looks like they are. It's these smaller ones. Alright. These look like the ones that go in a diff locker. So we'll just take them. We'll just make an educated guess here. Get some of our tools prepped. I'm really looking forward to using this guy for the shocks when we get to that. Just remembered I busted my 1.5 millimeter electric one. I'll try not to do electric ones because it's no fun to listen to the electric ones on your side of things. Got here 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter, big 4. We won't need that. Needle nose. What else is essential? All the essentials. Oh, Trash Can Ninja, pick up your first crawler tomorrow. The TRX4 Sport Kit. I've never driven one or built one of those, which would make sense if I haven't driven one that I haven't built one, I guess. That's the brainiac in me talking. So I think I'm going to use my Permatex or my Vibratite It's a gel. It's good stuff. All right. So we're going to go into A1. Chuck GRC, welcome. My kit came with a weird bag, alphabet A, B, C, D, E. Huh. It's weird that A1, but it's a lot more than A1. Alright, but I guess the main part we need is an A1. We'll get it out. I don't know how much we can do wrong. Take this guy. This guy. Thread lock it, and then we're going to grease it and add some bearings. Easy enough. I can talk while I do this part. Little chitty chitty chat chat. Chuck and I are going. I were watching an SBG edit a photo of his truck. Aha. He does some cool photo editing. For sure. I'm a big fan of Lightroom since the original one came out. For those of you guys that know, really, I mean, I got into before RC, and what my job actually is doing video production and photography. And so a lot of it was humanitarian based, and did a lot with Lightroom and all of that when it was first coming out. Amazing software. I still prefer the old version, the classic, but I know they're going, you know, to more the web-based stuff, which is good with your phones and all that, but I don't know. Kind of old school. That knife's kind of in a weird spot. I need to send them. I don't do that many cool photos of my vehicles. I just use my phone. I try and keep it easy, honestly, because I'm looking to have fun, and you know, photography and the video stuff's work for me. So I do it, but I try and do it where it doesn't detract from the enjoyment that I have with the hobby. I try and separate the two, unless it's like a certain thing, like at Axialfest. I'll be bringing the big rigs, these cameras that I got here. Godzilla, the wind is always the worst when it comes to video. I hate wind noise in video. You need to get the big muff that they use on Camera Conspiracies. He's got that huge dead mouse on his shirt, way over the top. But I mean, if you're doing off-road stuff too, I mean, sometimes sound is more important than having a microphone that you can't see. Like if you guys could see this microphone, it's got a big muff on it for when I'm outside and we're doing shoots. Randy Scott, yeah, I used to do some and have a little bit of fun with them, like this microphone up here. But just a small version of it that goes on like a lav mic. That's what he had. So yeah. Alright, so that's A1. Now we need to grab the bearings. Which look like these ones. Yep. Now, did you guys grease these? These are like open. Seems like you'd want to pack them with grease. It's not saying to. And they give you grease here, and they tell you to thread lock, but they're not telling us to grease. Maybe they are going to later. go. Maybe I should try auto exposure on here. Maybe it'll change if I come up here. Can I brighten it? Nope. I feel like the camera conspiracy guy, where he constantly is checking the focus of his Fujis. This is a Fuji over here. Alright, so we're going to set that aside. Done. Axle casing. The front. So this comes off. That snaps in there pretty good though. Sure does. Alright. Make sure we pay attention here. You like the bokeh. This is a Tonet 2.8. If you guys watch the show, you'd get it. It's a f2.8. Alright, so ring gear. Take another bearing. Which bearing do they want us to use this time? 1047 is the larger one, sealed. So yeah, it's the XH1 camera up here. I have a GH5 over there. In fact, I think, yeah, you can see it. This one definitely has a better sensor than that one, but that one's just better for video all around. It's a stellar camera. Can run all day long, does not overheat. Shoot all of the episodes I've been out shooting everywhere. We've been shooting with it. So the bearing they're calling for, man, I have no idea. They're calling for a thick one. It's 14. It's 5 millimeters thick. The rest are 4. It's gotta be this. Deduction. Going with some deduction here. I guess we see if it fits on here too. Alright, so you want it to be this direction. Man, there's a lot of things to take into account with this. So they want to spin here. So I think we got us the right one. Guess it doesn't matter. So, but it doesn't say grease. What do you guys do? Do you grease these? Bearings? Am I gonna regret it if I don't grease the bearings like I normally do? I go in water, so I usually use my Cow RC udder butter, which I don't know where I have it in here right now. I have some in this room. I could use the black grease, I guess. Well, I've got this Premier White here, gear grease. Grease everything. That's what I say. Grease it. Let's put a little bit. This is gear grease. This isn't what I'm actually wanting to use. I need to find my udder butter. This stuff is super smooth though. So smooth. White on it. There's my head. Welcome to the back of my head. All right. 2 days of much needed rain here in Maine, says Bar Harbor Basher. Man, you guys are straight north of us. You haven't been getting rain every single day for the past month. It's been insane down here. We're ready to be done with all this rain. All right, so this way. This needs some white grease for sure. Get the bearing while I'm in here. Oh, I dropped the bearing. That would have been catastrophic. Now it's smooth. All right. Let's see what we can get done here. Put this on. I should red dye it black. Oh well. Oh well. Not going to. These get these super long screws. Like 2mm. It's funny how you just kind of learn over time what a screw is by looking at it, what size. I always wondered how people did that before with nuts or bolts or whatever. But yeah, you definitely learn. Hey, what's going on, Riff Raff? I might have to break out the old trusty McTrusterson here. Electric power these. It'll be quick. Hand tighten the end of it. So, okay, so here's the deal. I wasn't sure if I was doing Axialfest or not. I planned to. Like, I really wanted to. I had originally had the first dates on the calendar. I had a whole lot of stuff planned out. 2020 was going to be a big year. And then, well, you guys know what's happened. And so a lot of my plans changed. I got the Raminator to go down to Orlando, run down at the Monster Jam World Finals. Gonna run the World Finals at Digger's Dungeon for No Limit with just, you know, whatever regular monster truck stuff, 10th scale. And then go from that to Horizon RC Fest in June. So like May was going to be huge, then into June it was going to be packed, and the end of June was going to be RC Axialfest. So it's going to be a nuts. I had all planned out. You know, things were working and banging for it, and you know, all this happened and things changed. But they changed the date of this, and some conflicts came up, but I talked to my wife. She's like, yes, you can still go. But then we planned a trip to Michigan to see. My mom had just moved back up there because you didn't want to be moving back up there when all the COVID stuff was happening hard. And so she stayed down here longer because she lives here half the year. And so we're going to go back up there, see my wife's brother and his family up there, see my brother who lives up there, see my mom, show my kids where I grew up, where we used to ride bikes, all the fun stuff we used to do, and the trouble we used to cause. And yeah, just have a blast. And then I looked in Axialfest. I was literally going to come home a week before Axialfest, have to drive all the way back. And so we've been trying to figure it out. Plus, at this point, by the time I committed, lodging was going to be tricky. All the cabins were full, so it's going to have to, like, go buy a tent or something. I really wanted to take my Jeep because they have the off-road park, and I got that new Jeep, and I'd love to take it out on there. So there's that as well, which I didn't plan to get this year. I guess because all that other stuff fell through and whatever. Some of the YouTube money that I had, I've put toward the Jeep and doing some 1-to-1 scale stuff to change it up a bit. So yeah. Anyway, craziness. So we're going. My wife's like, well, why don't we take the RV? We've got a really old RV. We call it Redneck Adventures, hashtag Redneck Adventure. And it's kind of a beater, Class A, and it looks like a beater. It's like browns and tan, and it's pretty good, though. It's, you know, inside it looks all right-ish, I guess. Stuff's starting to fall apart on it, but we like it, and you know, it's ours, so we just kind of deal with it, and we're okay with it. But we wanted to tow the Jeep. Well, that's a big undertaking, and I started calling places about getting tow stuff set up, and they're like, "Oh, with all this COVID stuff, I can't get you a plate." And I'm like, you know, we only do Roadmaster. What? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure my Jeep already has stuff on it, which I was blessed that it did. The Jeep had a lot of aftermarket stuff done to it already when I got it. It had Mopar rock sliders on it, which I took off to put Nerf bars on for my kids to get in and my wife. But the big worn bumper on it, stuff like that. It has a aftermarket rear wheel carrier as well, so you can hold your high lift and stuff like that. I'll look at the comments here in a second. I'm gonna riff off this for a second, but yeah, so my wife called this guy, and I'd called them after we went to Hatteras, and I wanted to get this stuff done. We're also having this thing where the heater just cycles on all the time for whatever reason. It's not doing heat, but the fan in it just kicks on, which if you're not plugged in, whatever, it'll kill the battery. If you don't kill all the battery power stuff, you can't get it to stop. So I wanted to get in to get a service. He never returned my call. I called him twice, and I said I wanted to find out about the Jeep. And so she calls him and is just like, well, I just want to find out, can we tow it on like a U-Haul trailer? What can we do? Like, because I told her I don't have time. I've got all these deadlines. If we're leaving Thursday, I've got so much work stuff I have to get done before we go. And videos I have to complete, get uploaded, all this kind of stuff to the people that need them. And so, if, you know, she's going to have to do the calling around. So she had to call around. She got us. Axialfest was booked up, but they just built, I don't know how many, but new lots for camping. So when I was looking, everything was sold out. You could not get a campsite there. Except you could do, and anybody can do, they've got like a big lot where you can just primitive camp, which would have been fine. Because it still wouldn't have been primitive in an RV, you know, with a generator or whatever. So we'd have been totally fine. But they found us, and they've got some of the best campsite rates I think I've seen in 10 years. So that's been pretty cool how all that fell together. And the guy, she calls him, and he's like, let me see what I can do with the Jeep. Send some pictures. And he literally took it in the next day, and he's been working on it today. So she called yesterday. He's working on it today. It should be done tomorrow. He got everything overnighted from Atlanta. So we can do the whole thing now. We're just going to stay up in Michigan. I don't have to drive back and then go all the way back to Indiana. Would have been a killer. I'd have been just so sick of driving. But we're just going to work. We're working remotely anyway. We're going to take our stuff up and work remotely. So anyway, yeah. It was crazy. And I can't wait. They've got so much good stuff up in Michigan to eat. I love the Coney Islands up there. And I love, what can I work on next? Portal knuckle assembly. And I love the pizza up there. Awesome pizza up in Michigan. All right, so this, find out what looks right. Oh, this is tricky. So that is this way. So yeah, if you haven't had Jet's Pizza and you have a Jet's Pizza around you, you need to have Jet's Pizza. Just saying. Okay, this looks a little bit more complicated than maybe some of the stuff we were doing with the last part. I have to make sure we're doing everything right here. Alright, so we need a big bearing here. Just the lightest amount of grease on here. That might not be the right one. It looks like it. So that's my story. May not have been the best story, but whatever. She made it work for me, which was cool. Chuck GRC says Jets is great. Yeah, man. Hey Tony, the SCX3 portals make a clicking sound, just so you know. Well, that's wonderful. They all of them do? So don't like be freaked out if it's happening to me, is what you're saying. Alright, so this goes like this. Need some of these A2 parts now. I heard that there was only clicking if you put one of the gears in backwards for that 2-speed. That's what I heard. Alright, so these all look the same. Now you guys got me all flustered. Am I gonna mess it up? Alright, so this, I see how this works. I can do it. So this is going to take a pin in it. Slide this on. I see. That pulls back onto it like so. Clever. Goes in the bottom. This little square gear. Looks like it goes in the top. And then this gets a couple bearings. So I don't have a great angle on this camera. I feel like I should move it to the front. And then it closes up on here. And then I guess you see the gear on the inside here to line up the shaft going through. Eventually get another bearing on it. That's what it looks like to me. So what are you guys working on? What projects do you have? Make sure the rounded side is against the pin. The rounded side. The rounded side of what? The rounded side of this gear? Looks the same to me both ways. Inside the slot, one of this is square, the other is rounded. Oh, and I have to do number 1. I have to be sure that I use number 1. So one side of this one is square and rounded. It's got me all worried. All right, so I actually am supposed to be doing this one, which is number 1. So I need to just gotta make sure I do the right ones. I guess I don't understand the rounded side one. This one here, John? The bigger one? Oh, I see. One has a little cup down in it. And one is flattened off. And you want the flat side going against? I can kind of see a mark. So I have the flat side up, the squared side. The other side that's got a little round divot down into it is against the gear. Rounded against the pin. Got it. Then I've got it right. It kind of tapers is what I would call it, like tapers down. Tapers into the hole. Okay. We have that way. That is not very clear in the direction. You can kind of see it, but it wouldn't be obvious that there was a difference. The round peg fits the round hole. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. Got a little bigger. Try and move some stuff around here. Whoop. Wrong way. There we go. Now I can still look at you guys. If you find one regardless, I'm glad I mentioned something. Sales ploy with affiliate links. Now that's funny. That would be cruel. Some people, though, might not put it against them doing something crazy like that. Alright, so this one, we got to do the opposite. See, this one makes it look like the rounded side is away from the pin. That is just weird. That there. Alright, so we're just basically putting in the bearings again. But yeah, I'm really excited. I've never done a scale competition. Not necessarily a competitive person for that kind of thing, but I'm going to go and have a good time. I'm a good time haver kind of person. Alright, so the rounded side that has a little indentation goes in toward the gear, is what they tell me. So, as best as I can tell, in an out of focus world here, come on, you want to do it, you want to focus right here, come on, focus, focus, or don't. We're just going to go to manual. We're going to force you to focus. So I've got it. There's a little kind of indentation around this pin that goes down in. I'm guessing that's what they're saying I'm supposed to do. But I don't know. So, the camera's really struggling with what it wants to focus on here. Let's just go for setting our own. All right. Full manual control. There we go. Keep things in focus a little more. All right. So that's set. We're going to grease this up. We're going to get done with these. Tired of dealing with them. We need to move on. Yes, the rounded part. All right. It's so, I mean, it's barely rounded. You wouldn't know to consider that rounded. I wouldn't. Does anybody else use this ProTech white Premier grease, gear grease? It's so smooth. Hey Chris, how's it going, man? Alright, so next we've done the things. They say black grease it. We white greased it. Just cuz. We like this ProTech. I didn't use this grease before. I always used the udder butter for gears and everything. But when I put together that Megalodon, that transmission was so smooth, smoother than any transmission I'd put together with my grease. Or any greases, stock ones or whatever. And so I went and asked the guy I bought it from what he used, and this is what he recommended. Michael McKenzie. That's who I bought it from. He does a lot of monster truck racing. I think he's up in New York. Or just north of New York. Don't forget to smash the like buttons. Thanks, 11 Charlie, for mentioning that. Good old Mackenzie. Yeah, you bought a lot off him. The first thing I bought off of him was the Northern Nightmare body. Then I bought the side plates that he was doing for a little while that were pre-stickered and everything for the SMT10. That's smooth. So I got those from him. Alright, so we've done one page. Not the fastest worker here. Alright, so now it looks like we're going to build some stuff. Alright, so lay it out like they got it. So this one's going to go over here. This one's going to go over here. Boom. Jo says he uses like Lucas White Lithium. It's like $8 for a lifetime supply. Yeah. That's pretty much what this was probably like, though. You just put it into a little syringe so you feel weird using it. Alright. So what do we got to do? We got to put in our axles. So we're going to need a bearing. Little one. Give it a little shot in here first. I'm not doing a lot on the bearings. Not with this grease. I do a lot when I use the other grease. This one I'm just kind of lightly coating it. Just a little bit. It's white, so it looks worse than it is. It's just a minimal amount. So that fit in there perfectly. Everything feels pretty smooth. And then we will assemble it through here after we add this other bearing. That ain't the one. That ain't the one. What are we putting in here? This one. Nope. Why can't I find the right bearing? Oh, it doesn't get a bearing. It has a piece here that I just need to lube up. You guys are probably screaming at me in the comments. Hey, idiot, there's no bearing. Alright. I get it. Idiot is an endearing name for me. I can handle it. There it went. Tony's just working, not reading the comments. Yeah. See about Harbor Basher, man? Chris is asking, and you guys see my new SMT10? Corbett says he uses the red grease, Mobile 1. Is it kind of tacky, the red grease? Or is it not tacky? Because my what I did like about the Udder Butter was it was tacky. I did like that. Are you guys telling me in the comments that there's no bearing? Thanks, SFLRC24. I miss what the 3-hour versus 12 was. $80 for a new cage ain't bad. Yeah, I liked the tacky stuff, especially on the bearings. I might have to see if I can find it. It's got to be in here. And if not, I have some in the garage. So far, only built one axle. I haven't even finished the first one. So there's that. I forget how narrow these trucks are. It's pretty narrow. Yeah, white grease is getting on everything. I'm not going to be doing the show and shine, that is for sure. Mine will not be pimped out like everybody else's. All right. Yes, I remember this time. No, no bearing. Ah, greasy, yes. You know, if you'd have coated your arms with grease the other day, you might not have cuts on them. There, Mr. Trailer Trash. If you guys haven't seen it, Trailer Trash RC caught his X-Max from like 25 or 30 feet in the air. Intentionally, like he meant to do it. Guy's crazy. The 3 for the 12 is how far Scott is from me. Oh, okay. Free Whataburger? They can have that Whataburger. Give me Five Guys burgers. Am I right? I'm right. I'm right. Give me the Five Guys burger. Don't want to over tighten these. Yeah. I was telling him he should just catch it every time, because it doesn't break when he catches it. I swear. He's had to have spent hours repairing that thing. The amount of times he's broken it. Because he sends it. Alright, one axle done. Now they want us to build another. Alright, we can do it. We got this down now. You guys have helped me out, because I didn't get to watch all the build videos people have done. So, I know that there was some that I watched that gave some tips when building this, and that was back when they first came out. And I don't really remember what the problems were that they were saying that they wish they'd known to pay attention to. Couple hundred hours invested just in rebuilding the X-Max. Shoot. Randy Scott, Five Guys all the way with jalapenos. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, with jalapenos. Even my son, my 11-year-old son, does the jalapenos on them. And they are fantastic. He says it's the best burgers he's ever had. Which is true. They're hard to beat. And if you travel a lot like I do, and they have a Five Guys in the airport. They do breakfast, and they make the craziest, over the top. Think it's gonna kill you. Like egg, bacon, cheese biscuits that are just. I mean, the cheese on it is insane. You feel your heart stopping. It's getting clogged as you're eating it. Randy Scott, can't forget the bacon. Well, you said all the way. That pretty much means everything on it, right? I don't do the cooked veggies on it, but I do the raw veggies. Bacon, jalapenos, onions, lettuce, pickles, mustard, ketchup, and mayo. And then if you get the Cajun fries, dude. Yeah, man. You guys don't have a Five Guys where you are, I'm sorry. Trailer Trash, they don't do breakfast unless you're at an airport. What's your opinion on the Monster Tracker? BMRC? The Monster Tracker. Who makes the Monster Tracker? Monster Tracker. I'm trying to think of what it is. I'm not sure I'm tracking with which one the Monster Tracker is. Sounds like a Kyosho. I really want one of those Trail Kings by Kyosho. I think the Monster Truckers, they're the Monster Tracker. Let me pull it up here. Stop and help a brother out. If it's the one that I saw at Hobbytown, Monster Tracker RC. I saw this and I didn't like it one bit. I didn't like how they had the electronics laid out on the inside at all. But at the price, it's a really good price. So there's that. You got to weigh some things. But yeah, I didn't love the way that they laid out everything in it. It seemed like it'd be a pain to work with. Alright, so now we need the axle. Gonna pop this off again. I noticed I had some text messages. Alright. So I haven't heard. Is anybody in here? Who's going to meet me up at Axialfest? I was trying to get some local guys to just go with me originally when I was going to drive. But now that we're RVing it, I can't do that. I don't know what just happened to the camera, but it just like went to sleep and woke up. Alright. So gear goes in here. Smooth. This goes this direction. Match the book. It's your best bet, peoples. Alright, so these bearings I didn't have on here. I need to go on. I forgot to put them on. You get grease on the other side too. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just squirt it in the sides and work it in. Cheat. This one I can do it right. All right. Get myself all greasy. And we're going to make sure we put this in the right direction. It's one of those things that you hate to take it back apart when you jack it up. And you go to drive it and the axles are fighting each other. Feel like an idiot. Steak and Shake is the bomb. Man, I haven't had Steak and Shake since I moved out of Michigan. We used to go there all the time in college. All the time. But I didn't love it, honestly. It was alright. No Five Guys, that's for sure. No Five Guys. Earl Moorhead, what's going on, man? You've never had Steak and Shake? They have like these really crazy hash browns that are just like, and fries that are just tiny. That was my phone. John Derrigan. Where did I live in Michigan? I lived in a little town called Fenton. It was just south of Flint, north of Ann Arbor. Firehouse Subs is good stuff. That's good eats. I really like Freaky Fast subs. Jimmy John's. Shake Shack, yeah. We just got Shake Shack here. I'm not big into shakes. So it's not like my thing. Oh, sweet. After this is Shocks. I love Shocks. It's my favorite. Shocks are my favorite. Alright. What do we got here? This is different. Differenter. So these look like we start with our axles. This goes in. But first, a bearing? I don't see the bearing listed on there. I see this bearing. We'll kind of keep following whatever these lines all mean. This guy goes into the tube. But it seems like a bearing should be there. There's a bearing here for that. Bearing for that. And in the bottom, they don't show a top bearing. Maybe there's not one. There wasn't one last time. Alright. So maybe it does make sense. Alright, so I'm going to follow you guys' rule. Curved side goes against the pin. We remember some things. Togo's is California. No bearing there. Thank you, 11 Charlie. The build master has spoken. Pin goes, that's the wrong way. Goes this way on here. This is going to go on here. Do we grease it a little? Are you guys crazy greasers or just do a little around the outside? around the outside. Yeah, that wouldn't need it. I can see why it wouldn't need it now. Beautiful. Alright, so that all made sense. And this is number 2. Wait. No, I just did this side, which they say is number 1. Oh no, these are number 2s. Whoops. So are both of them number 1 on the front? Because then I got one wrong. I've already messed up. What step did I mess up? So all the front ones are 1s. I messed it up. Cool, cool, cool. They made the spot for the bearing, but they said it's not necessary. They said they were going to update the PDF online. Got it. Thank you, Chuck G. You guys are so in the know. So actually, so the number 1, I have to find out which one I did wrong over there. Take it apart and switch it. So that's cool. I'm excited about finding that. The real question is, can I build the rig without the manual? Absolutely not. Not without you guys here telling me what to do. I could build the SMT10 without the manual. In fact, I probably would have been better off doing it that way. Just start by doing the transmission, the axles, the shocks. The hardest part is finding the pieces and where they are. If they're already bagged like this, I could totally do the SMT10 without directions. All right. Ooh. That's loud. But it sounds good. It sounds like Metal Gears. So I think this is the wrong one, which is good because I only put 2 screws in it. So failure there. Mr. Scale RC. Am I gonna run Venom Power? I'm gonna run some Venom Power. That's what I have for my rock bouncer. Depends on the system I put in this. If this is a smart system, I will probably run a smart battery. Here's the number 1. That was easy enough to find. Number 1. Wait. These are supposed to be number 1. I want the number 2. I need to swap out the number 2. Cool, cool. So I did the wrong one. Mr. Scale RC, what's the dates for the Badlands? It is July 16th through 18th in Attica, Indiana. Looks like an awesome place. Like a place that I want to go back to hit with off-road vehicles. It looks unreal. We've talked about how fun it would be to run a campground, and then recently I've been talking about how fun it would be to run an off-road campground where people come in and camp, but then it's got a whole bunch of trails and jumps and fun stuff to do. What's the point? Dude, that's awesome. You won a crawler, Kurt's RC says. That's cool, man. From Highway 1 RC, that's awesome. Mr. Scale RC. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to run in this yet. I've been pretty much running either Venom Power or the Spectrum Smart batteries. Those are the only two I've been running. So I just bought a Spectrum Smart battery to go in the bomber, because I needed something that would fit in the bomber, and they had that at Hobbytown. And I like the way the smart stuff works. And I still love my Venoms because they've been really reliable for me. So you notice a lot of the videos that I posted recently still say Venom Power. So whatever I'm running, I mention what I'm running. But I don't just run one anymore. Basically because I wanted to try the smart stuff, because what intrigues me about the smart batteries is the automatic discharging, and I know it's laziness, but that's the honest, that's why I'm interested in it. Is when I go out and I prepare for a day like the other day, I think that I'm going to have people that are going to want to run them when they come over and visit. And then everybody just wants to hang in the pool or, you know, do whatever. Then we don't use them, and I've got to then discharge them, and that's a pain. Takes forever, especially if I do a lot of them. And the smart ones you can set to auto discharge, which I like. What color are you going to paint it? I'm going to paint it white and black. Mainly white with black plastic. Like the top will be black. I'm probably going to do like my other one that's up here that has the black grill on it, is my guess. So, yeah. Chris, they're pretty pricey though. Venom has gotten super expensive. They seem to be about the same price I've always paid for them. I know that things are a little bit tough right now just because of getting batteries. So if you buy on Amazon, that may not be Venom setting the price. I know that the 3S 2200 here, I paid, I think it was $2 more for the Spectrum one, $26.99. They had a Venom one that was the same thing basically, and it was $24.99, so it was cheaper than the smart battery, but the bomber's already got all the Spectrum stuff in it, so I just went with the Spectrum. Thomas Lehman, what am I building? This is the SCX10 III kit. And right now I'm switching out. I messed up and put the wrong parts on the axles. So I was just fixing it. Just put a little bit of grease on this because it's going to be rubbing on the plastic. In here. There we go. So then we're going to take this gear, round side. Keep saying it so I don't forget it. See you, Basher boy. Yeah, Thomas, this truck looks amazing. Rounded side down on the pin. Hit it with a little grease. Boom. Need the bearings. Wherever there might be a little friction, little bit of grease. All right, so I have one bearing left over. I have one bearing left over. Goes there. Boom. There we go. That was all the parts. Whoops. That was a classic move right there. Had not finished. All right. That is how not to build your axles. Do you think Horizon Hobby is going along the route similar to Traxxas and developing an exclusive battery line? I mean, Horizon has always run their EC3 line. So I don't think they're going that way. I think they've always kind of had their own connectors. The Smart, you don't have to do it. You can use it in your Venom charger. I charge mine in Venom chargers all the time. Because I have 2 of the quad chargers, so I can charge up to 8 batteries at a time. But their technology, the Smart side of it, is definitely a proprietary thing that works with their components. And I don't think that that's something they'll do as a licensing thing to other brands. So other brands will just have to develop their own Smart setups or whatever they want to do with it. I mean, I don't need it to do all the telemetry stuff. The main thing that I like about it is that it discharges. So if the other battery companies want to make their batteries so that they can discharge, I might try other batteries. Because that's really the draw for me with the Smart. However, being able to read some of it, like crawling, your amperage left and all that, milliamp hour left, is pretty nice. So you know how long you have out on the trail. Or if you're about to race, looking at it. But for general bashing, I don't typically look at that. When it's done, it's done. But for racing, it is a good spot check to say, oh, wow, I better change my battery before this race. Which you can do by, you know, there's multiple ways you can do it, but it's just really easy to look at your controller and see it. Thomas says, I have the tenacity to be with Smart technology. It's so much easier. Yeah. That's good to hear, Earl. All right, so bag B1. Pull out my carrier truck. COVID and coffee got him. Wasn't feeling well. Sounds like the flu. That's scary to get the flu in this day and age. Or a fever. Any of it. Sea bag. J. Looking for shocks. It should stand out. Here we go. Bag B. Okay. Let's continue on with our build. one step at a time. It's not too bad when you really get into it. Get this grease off my fingers. Nice shirt. Yeah, this was my my tease with how I'm gonna win is already a winner because I bought local. Bought this truck local. So I'm going in, I'm winning because I'm going into Horizon Fest having supported my local hobby shop with this SCX10 build. Got the reef servo for it and paint there, the kit there. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh yes, E-clips. I love these things. So much love for them. I agree with super rated in California for sure, but FAM is tested clear. That's awesome, dude. Lucky to have motion picture insurance. Yeah, man. We in Michigan had, my dad, both my parents were teachers, and we had theirs, and they had really good. In Michigan, the teachers had really good insurance. I think all the government workers there did. So, let's see what we got here for parts. Some different pieces, make some sense. Okay, so we need this, take it apart. You know what I don't have? I don't have anything to put on the O-rings. I don't have anything to put on the O-rings. That's not good. All right, so now we're going to build this guy. Put on a C-clip here. Oops. E-clip, C-clip, anger clip, whatever you want to call it. Definitely want to have a cow RC mat when you're dealing with these things. Got it. It's over here. Went flying a little bit. It's the other time I use that red tacky stuff, but not here, not in a shock. One. And luckily you get to do 2 per shock, 2 of these clips. So you're extra lucky. Maybe there's a trick to it, I don't know. E-clip tricks. RC amigos. Yeah, JORC, they don't help when you send them flying 50, and that's why you keep seeing me put my finger over the top. Is to try and keep it from flying across the room. There we go. Sweet. Alright. So next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble this first. Because I couldn't remember which one I'd done the rings on, and so the O-rings. Luckily I guessed the right one. But you saw I did unscrew it to check. Now there's times when I'm putting these on a plastic bag for this on the cow RC mat because they're hard to pick up otherwise. So I just put a little bag or paper or something down when I'm dealing with things like washers or these clips. That one wasn't too bad. Like this bag here. That way I can just slide them off easy. Magnet still kind of keeps them in place, but it's easier to get them off. There it goes. That one was easy. So that's ready. What are you guys saying? Cow RC mount. So what's up with the Arma EXB thing? I don't know. It's curious. You know, there's parts of me that hopes it's a new vehicle. And then there's part of me that thinks by the naming convention it isn't. That it's more a style of vehicle or a line of vehicle. So whether it's like the Mega line they have the BLX line. They have the 4S, but those are still BLX, because those are brushless. But I don't know. The naming convention would make me think it would be like the BLX. But it could be what they call all their fifth scale stuff or their big stuff from now on. I don't know. See you, Bucks RC World. Maybe we'll see each other at Axialfest. I hope you make it, man. If not, maybe if I can break away one day while I'm in Detroit area. I think we're going to be in the Grosse Pointe area for a few days. Which I don't think is too far from Steve-O and you as my guest then. Oh, I thought that went flying. Oh, oh. I thought that one went zinging. Yeah, man, I hate to vacuum up here because stuff always gets sucked up and I don't know what it is. But you got to, otherwise it's nasty. Axialfest is in Indiana at the Badlands Park. Alright, so I got one more of these to do. These clips haven't been too bad. However, they didn't give you any extras. And whenever you're dealing with these E-clips, I think there should at least be one extra. That could ruin your night real quick if you lost one. How much is an E-clip? I know, it's something small to complain about. However, I appear to not have one of the shock. Oh, here it is. I lied. I have it. I thought I was missing this plastic piece. When am I going camping in the mountains like Boone again? I don't know. Hopefully sooner than later, especially now with the Jeep. We love that area, Boone, North Carolina. Asheville, that area. So hopefully soon. I love the rocks there too for the RCs, the water in the rocks. Imagine it flying across the room. I know, right? Man, in this room, you wouldn't even believe how hard it would be to find anything in here. It's hard to walk to my desk right now. My wife was just griping at me when she went up just a minute ago about how bad it is. It's really bad right now. Real bad. Alright, here we go. I've been waiting for this part. Oh, man. That is a beautiful thing. Two of these. Oh, I pushed it right through. Too hard. That is where Thomas lives. Is in that area in Asheville or in Boone? This is not my favorite part. Where you have to thread these on. And then usually have to grab on with some needle nose pliers. Try not to scratch it up. Is it moving? Seems like it is. I'm stabbing myself every pass. I think it's moving. It is moving. I need more bite. I think I had too much paper on it and it was slipping. I think that's what these are for too, right? They're kind of rounded so it won't dent it, I guess. Oh, man. Yep, that's a beautiful thing. Yep, Randy, you can. The shock thing is new to me. I haven't had one. Everyone said it would make building shocks so much more enjoyable for me, and they were right. Right, they were. Man. It's going to make links and stuff easier too. Although the links have the hole in them now, which helps. But that right there is brilliant. Fog City, what's going on? John Derrigan. Guys have any questions or have asked some questions that I missed that you want me to answer while I'm doing this? Shocks are a kind of slowish thing. I'm most excited, I think, about just general crawling the courses that they're building there. Taking the capper out and just having a blast. Of course, filming stuff too. Looking forward to that. How's it going, Mike Heck? Randy, you just got one too? Yeah, man, these are awesome. Protect for the win for this and that grease. It is quite amazing. Kind of easy to push it right through though. Even did it left-handed. I'm trying to use my hands to stop it. can only go so far, but I'm still there. There we go. The world is just slightly a better place because of these pliers. Fog City just started the SMT10. Alright, man. That's a fun build. I just think it's one of the easiest cars to work on. Especially once the cage is assembled and you don't really have to deal with it too much. Dropping the transmissions out super easy. Working on the axles is super easy. Most of the stuff that you have to do maintenance on is really easy on it. Alright, so now we gotta put the little bleeder caps in here. I guess at the end we'll do that. Alright, so oil time means our RC Amigos. Oh, I don't know if these shocks are going to be too short. I used it for my other shocks. I need something for these shocks. For my long shocks, I was able to work it here. Maybe my custom one will do. I guess I can stack them into the logo. Maybe. I'm kind of impatient with shocks anyway. I don't usually spend the amount of time with them airing them out like a lot of people do, because I don't notice the performance benefit in doing so. So there, you heard it. You heard it from me. I cheat them. I cheat my shocks. Kind of do a quick air bleed out on them. Fill them. Oh, way too much on that one. Get a trash can. Usually put in a little, get it working, try and get the forced air out from underneath the piston. See it come up. Looking good. Not seeing a lot of new stuff. Add some more. Looks about right. How about you guys? You let all of your bubbles, like I'm not seeing any already in that little amount of time. There might be the smallest micro ones that I can't see in all this. I mean, I've got a lot of light in here, but I feel like I could already put the cap on this one. I feel like there was not enough in there. Just a little more. Didn't have any bleed out. I feel like most of the air is going to push out in this last point anyway. That's all I want to do anyway. Just a little bit of push out. Not really sucking in. Didn't push out at all. I'll actually do it the old school way, even though it's got a bleeder cap, and just open it a little bit and let it bleed out the top. That's it right there. I'm okay with that. Just want to try and get them equal. Cap it. So yeah, I just capped it, opened it a little bit, squeeze it all the way up, let the excess oil come out. Get a little pushback. Looks good to me. Good enough to me. Yeah, usually I just try and go about halfway. Start working it, so I don't have the bubbles don't have to go up a long way to air out. Start getting that done, and then I fill it. Do it a little more. Try and get any excess air bubbles out. All right. Cap it. Squeeze out the excess. Good. I've just never done bleeder caps before. I mean, I have. I choose not to. Choose to usually leave it just open a little bit and squeeze it out the. Just wanted to be close. And I'll let out a little too much. So it's usually a semi-messy process for me here. Oh, you know what? I know why. I don't have this ring on here. Put the ring on it. Squeeze out the excess, cap it. Go to the bottom threads, just pour the oil in and screw it together. I try to get mine to be close to the same, and then I'll mark them, the ones that are next, that are definitely the closest, and then I'll put them like front and rear if they're all the same height. See, this one's got quite a few air bubbles in it. So this one I may let sit for a second. It's got more air bubbles in it than I like. I really don't know, much about shocks. There's people that know a whole lot more than me about them. I've just learned what I've been taught and shown to do, and then kind of worked with what works for me. But the impatience was taught. What's Christopher? I locked my keys in my car when I went outside. Oh no. Sorry, dude. Sorry. How much do you guys like yours to push back out? Do you like them to just stay in and let the spring do all the work? Or do you like them to kick back a little bit? Mitts, what's going on, man? I feel like these need more oil than most of the shocks that I've built. Only push back a little bit. That's good. So if they all do that, I might just redo the first one a little bit. So I had the first one barely pushing back. Yeah, there we go. That's like the first one was. About the same length. Cool. You like the spring to do all the work. Lots of preload and really stiff, huh? They're all bouncing back about the same amount. Perfect. Just a little bit. Well, that time I didn't do any. That's wild. It just rebounded. That one's definitely springing back a little. A little bit. Sounds like air's getting out still somewhere. There it is. Really got to tighten that down. Oh, now we're talking. So these caps, depending how you thread them on. That's nice. So I gotta actually take down this upper one some more so that this can screw down all the way. And as it's doing that, I feel it pushing back. So what I need to do now is loosen it and let the excess oil out. So I wasn't all the way on. Tighten it down. All right. Trying to buy for SCX10. I did hit all my shocks, but my road cars are like 50% rebound for hooning. Okay. Yeah. I usually do monster truck shocks. And I don't need them to be as smooth as crawler shocks. So I'm asking you guys. That one feels like it's too much. Back this off. Tools come in handy again. So that I can tighten this down. Make sure I get this all the way on and then back it up. Now we got a little excess oil. Alright. Cool, one last one. Got your keys out? Nice. It is not easy to cut the body for the cage. You are right about that, Kurtz RC. See if that'll come back or not. Cycling, I hear something. Maybe off and on it. I don't know what it's doing. Give me a second. Oh, I know what. I know what it's doing. Somebody forgot to plug it in. The batteries are dead. In other news, I just went over there to work on it with a shock that was full of oil, and it now has no oil in it. Question is, where did said oil go? And how much trouble will I get in when I find where it is? I'm really excited about that moment, I'll tell you what. Really excited. Man, I'll tell you what. I had so much fun over the weekend with the Raminator. I got a video I still need to make. And it was just a blast. And then I also had a kid try my track for the first time, and I'd given him like a really low-end RC, not low-end, but it was hobby grade. Small. It was like a 14th scale, and it'd been one I'd been sent to review, and it was actually pretty capable. And so he'd had that and used that before. But I'll tell you what, he took my Sentin 3S out there and he just ripped it up on the track. At first he was just crashing all over the place, and I kind of told him how to jump and how to throttle control in the air, and he figured it out really quickly and was gangbusters with it. Really cool to see. Really fun to see him and how excited he was about it. It was really neat. If you go on my Instagram or my Facebook, you'll see the launch that he does with it. And he does a huge air backflip. And it was like literally right after I showed him, because I gave it to him on 3S because that's all I had charged. And I didn't at first make it full power for him. And then eventually I did. And then right after that is when he started doing the big jumps. Because I put it full power and said, now see what it can do. And then I showed him and I launched it, did a flip. And he just went for the same thing I did and nailed it. Crushed it. It was a very, very impressive first backflip. Got broken cars in your driveway, John? Earl knows about crawlers. I mean, Riffraff knows about crawlers. I used to, surprisingly, guys, do a ton of crawler stuff. We used to do a ton of videos with them, and I used to go and hang out at the parks with a bunch of different people. We'd do them at my house. We'd go different places and run them. Do the camping trip, and then it's kind of just fallen off for me because the people that I went with got busy and their work schedules changed and my work location changed, and because we weren't meeting up regularly, it just got tough to get out there and do it. And it's more fun to be on the trail with other people. That's for sure. John says, I'm a mechanic. My stuff gets work done last. That's the case. That's always the case. I'm a video producer and photographer, and my wife's like always asking me to do stuff here or whatever, and I'm just like burn out on it, you know. So same with mechanics, same with photographers, same with any profession. You do so much of it at work, you're not really wanting to jump right into it when you get home on your own projects. That's for sure. Feel all right. Like, shock masters would probably cringe watching me do this. Moto Mikey. Oh, super interested in my photography. Yeah, I'm probably going to start getting into that again more. Some of the travel side stuff again. So I'm excited about that. Moto Mikey 688. Oh, at Hickory, yeah, man. Yeah, we did the career day at Hickory Elementary, and I went in and did photo stuff. We used to do some fun home stuff, but it just got, with work and home and everything, it got so much. And the RC stuff kicking in with videos requiring so much time. RC's actually got me back into video more. I was so into photography for a long time, even though I studied video. And RC's really got me back into enjoying video. All right, so shocks are now done. Another step done. Axles and shocks, that feels good. Ugh, transmission. That is not something I feel like tonight. I can tell you that much. I'm looking at it. So 2017 used with portal axles, used with non-portal axles. 20T, 34T. And then you've got 27T, 27T. So that's the gearing 1-to-1 because of the portals. Got it. Get a little gear reduction. All right. Well, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me talk about what I got going on with Axialfest coming up. You guys will definitely see videos from there. Probably some live videos from there. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we'll get some interviews with some people. And I don't know. We'll try and find a bunch of different content for you guys while we're there. Since we're paying to go there, and might as well try and get some content out of it. And bring you guys some interesting stuff. Try and make it serve multiple purposes. One, the fun of being there, running the trucks. Two, bringing content to people. And three, just having fun RCing. But yeah, thanks JORC, Moto Mikey. Oh, you got dirt bike jumps, Moto Mikey? That's awesome, dude. Sean's RC Adventure. John Darrington, those are the gears we're talking about. They have to be careful with. Oh, the rounded and the square sides. They go toward the pin in the transmission. Is that where you get the clicking if you don't? Mm-hmm. Looks a little complex here. Well, good night, everybody. John, that's where you're saying, okay. So I need to write a note on this. Rounded. Or like the divot toward the pin. Holy cow, that looks brutal to put together. Dig engaged, high speed, low speed. This looks complicated. Very complicated. All right. Well, we'll figure it out when we do it because I got the servos to do it all. Do I want 2-speed? Is it a headache to do the 2-speed and set it up? I know I want the dig. I'm pretty sure I want the 2-speed. Pretty sure I want 2-speed. Yeah, I'll have to figure out as I go. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in again, and we will catch you guys next time. Well, what do we got? We got Tank RC coming up Thursday night. You got Steve OD on Friday nights, usually, and RC Guy Garage all the time. Friday nights, also, you have Harley and SBG, Scale Builders Guild. Monday nights, you got 11 Charlie RC and that gang. So lots of cool live stuff to hang out and chat. I love jumping in on them, guys. I'll probably be jumping in on them while I work on building some stuff here into the evenings, but I've also got to get packing too, so I got to figure out what I'm doing and what I'm taking and just start loading some bins with stuff and deal with it on the road. So we'll see what we can do and get ready by then. All right, catch you later.